Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be unboxing the April Kawaii Craft Kits box. That was a mouthful. And also do the tutorial projects for this month. On top of the box, when you first open it, is this insert, and so this is the supply list and a little note from myself. And then also in this box it's going to be folded to fit. But this is some more info on the supplies. We have this butterfly paint palette, 4 paint cups, fake sprinkles. Let me get a little bit closer so you can see. These are made out of polymer clay. A set of 4 double-sided dotting tools with different diameters. A set of paint brushes. A tube of fabric fusion or fabric glue. Fabric paint, and there are 7 different colors. This illustrated pin that was made by my same illustrator that does all of the pins if I include one in a box, all of the design artwork on my inserts and my box itself, my stickers and everything. Yeah, artist is Jade, or jade.grove. I'll leave her information below as well. So this is where the squishies live. And be careful, they're gonna jump out at you, but here they are, and they'll start to rise. Alright, so they're starting to, rise and come alive. So we have 1, 2, 3 squishies. And so this particular box I showed you had these 3 designs, but there are 2 options that you can get for each of this. So let me show you what the other options were. So depending on which options you got, and I also let people customize and pick which option they wanted in I sent out an email, and I also posted to my Instagram. So if you're a subscriber, make sure to keep up to date with those things, just in case I post like an option to customize or like an opportunity to get a free item or something like that. Or if I need your opinion on something, I'll reach out on email and Instagram. But yeah, so this cat was one option, and then you could either get the cat or you could get this dog. The cake, you could also either get the ice cream. The seahorse, you could either get a seahorse or a unicorn, or sorry, this is an alicorn because it has wings. So the alicorn or winged unicorn. For the tutorial video, I'm going to be making my own cat, unicorn, and ice cream. Okay, so now we're going to get into the tutorials. So starting out, I'm going to paint a base coat onto the alicorn, and this was before I got my paint palette, so I just put some paint onto a piece of parchment paper. But yeah, I'm going to be painting this alicorn kind of like a normal horse, and I'm going to be adding some white spots to it later and kind of making the body like a normal horse, and then adding kind of like this stereotypical or like, like usual unicorn pastel colors to the mane and the horns and the wings and everything. But I kind of think it's a cool idea to make it look more like a horse on the body at least. So the first layer of this paint is going to look a little bit spotty or like blotchy. Blotchy is a word, right? Or patchy. But don't worry, once you build up the layers, it'll look really nice. So I think right here I have about 2 layers already on it, and I'm adding a 3rd layer. So now what I'm going to do is add some spots to the alicorn. So I'm going to take the white and add it to one of the wells in the paint palette, and then I'm going to take my dotting tool and just dot on some spots, and I kind of want to add them mostly on the back or like the butt of the horse, and then I'm gonna add some white detail on the front, the chest of the horse, and then the muzzle as well. And this like style of horse seen here on my phone is kind of my like inspiration. And then I'm also going to make like the hoof area or the legs white. So I'm taking my paintbrush and just painting that on, and I think that took about 3 layers to get the nice white color. And then I also painted the bottoms of the legs as well. Alright, so while that dries, we're going to move on to the other projects. So I have my cat and my ice cream cone as well. And for the ice cream cone, I went ahead and just chopped off the loop because I didn't want to make it into a keychain. So I have an idea for this cat, and I don't know if it's going to go horribly wrong. but we will try it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually chop off one of its legs, which sounds pretty violent, but let's see here. I don't know if this is gonna look good, but we'll see. Can you guys watching this video at this point tell what I'm going to make, what the design is going to be based on the leg placement? So I'm going to take the leg that I cut off and then glue it in the place that I want it to be on the squishy with the fabric glue, and then I'm going to use some rubber bands to like band that together while it dries, just to make it more secure. And I also include some rubber bands, if you noticed, in the box. So now, while we're waiting for that glue to dry, I'm going to work on the ice cream cone, and I found that this plastic cup worked really well for drying because the cone doesn't really stand up right because of the shape. So I paint it kind of like in 2 steps. I paint like the top layer of ice cream, and then I paint the bottom too, and then like flip it and hold it in the cup to dry, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be painting one of the layers of ice cream as well as the mane and the tail of the alicorn with this lilac purple color. So now I'm going to mix up the color that I want for the second scoop of ice cream, which is going to be like a mint color, and I'm going to do it in the paint cup so that I can keep the leftover paint from drying out, because I'm going to use it to paint a couple more layers onto the ice cream, and I can also save it for some other squishy projects. And then once I have that all mixed up, I'm just going to paint the second layer of ice cream. And now I'm mixing up the color I want for the ice cream cone, and I'm also going to be using this color on the cat as well. So then I'm going to be painting the ice cream cone, and at this point the top layer has dried, the top layer of ice cream dried, so I'm using the cup to kind of like hold it steady while I paint the cone. So then as I'm waiting for layers of the other squishies to dry, I'm going to add the detail paint to the cat. So I'm adding the eyes with the dotting tool, I'm adding some whiskers, I'm adding some red to the ears, I'm adding the like smile or the mouth detail. In addition to that, I also add some whiskers, and I tried using a needle tool for this, but honestly, like, I would just use the thin paintbrush. I think it kind of is annoying to use like a toothpick or a needle tool to add paint, because you have to keep dipping it very often, and it kind of like ends up looking a bit jagged. So next time I would have just used a detail paintbrush. And then I'm also using the same color I used for the ice cream cone to make some spots onto the cat in various places, because it's kind of like a tabby cat. And then so I'm adding that initial like neutral color, and then I'll go in and add a black spot on top of each one later. And I let the fabric glue dry for a while, so it's time to remove the rubber bands. So now we're going to do my favorite part, which is to add sprinkles. And so I'm going to take the ice cream cone and add another layer of that lilac color to the first scoop of ice cream. And then I'm going to pour out some of the fake sprinkles and then sprinkle them on. And I also use that plastic cup to kind of like position the ice cream, and then I just kind of like drop the sprinkles on and churn it and drop, you know, and they stick really well actually. Alright, and here I am adding the black dots on top of the spots on the cat, as I said I would just a second ago. And then I'm also finishing painting the tail. I did a little bit of the tail with the rubber bands on, but I couldn't finish it because the rubber bands were in the way, but I should have just waited to finish it all at once, but I was being impatient, so now I'm finishing it up. So now I'm mixing up a green color in one of the paint cups, and then I'm going to apply this on top of the front of the cat, and it's kind of like a bib, you'll see. And then I have some thin red ribbon, but it's actually a little bit too thick still, so I cut that in half. And then I also have a little gold bell that I thread onto the ribbon. I almost said thread onto the thread. And then I use some fabric glue to go ahead and like glue it to around the cat's neck, so it's like a collar. And actually that's everything. So here's kind of like an overview of all of the finished projects. So we have this ice cream cone, and it's really fun to squish down. And then as far as the cat goes, if you hadn't guessed by now, it's actually a Maneki Neko. Here is the finished Maneki Neko, and it jingles a little bit. I really like how it turned out. I was nervous that it wouldn't turn out very well, but I actually really like this one. Here's the finished Alicorn, and I didn't add eyes to her or him. I haven't really decided the gender, but I don't know. I'm worried if I add eyes, they'll end up looking derpy, so I don't know. What do you guys think? What kind of face should I give this one if I add a little face to her? Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're not a subscriber to Kawaii Craft Kits already, I'd love to have you, of course, and I will see everyone in the next video. Bye!